Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 19th of September 2019. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so also before we jump into the charts, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, but specifically our JFD Research page, which you can always check out on a daily basis, and I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here, guys. So, yep, feel free to visit us on jfdbank.com and click on Research tab here. So, also before we jump into the charts, as well, quick apologies for the recording of the yesterday's Traders Tea Time, as I've noticed that only half of the video got recorded, so a bit of a technical glitch here. So yep, guys, sorry for that. I mean, the live video was running normally, but the recording it didn't quite actually save the whole video. So I'll run through some of the instruments again here. Hopefully this recording will be better. But right now, let's jump into the charts, guys. So the first one I want to touch on here is the FTSE 100. Now, looking at this one, it's at a very interesting spot, and I looked at this one previously, recently, and what I was talking about here was this upside support line taken from the low of the 28th of August. Now, as you can see, yesterday the index closed above this upside support line, and in a way, this kind of still gives some hope for the bulls. The only thing is that for us to get excited with the higher levels, ideally now we need to see a push above the 7,380 zone before examining higher levels, because this way the index would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could target areas like the 7,476 here or even above that. But looking at the cash index right now, we are seeing a bit of a slide, and we are seeing the index trading around the 7,300 level. So still, this is above our breakout point. So previously I've mentioned that in order to consider, let's say, some decline, some lower levels here, we need to see not only a break of this upside line, but also a drop below the 7,284 zone. So this way, we could then potentially aim for certain levels like the 7,200 zone here, or even below that. But we'll keep it short and simple for now. We'll see how it performs around here. If it drops below the 7,284, then yep, we will aim for lower areas here. So that's why, guys, for now, be very careful. Yes, we are currently trading on the cash index below this upside support line, but let's see if the bulls actually manage to push this one back up somehow. So, but then again, like I said, we will aim for higher levels only if we see a push above the 7,380 zone. So keep your eyes on this one. Quick mentioning of gold. I talked about this one recently as well. So basically, gold kind of continues to balance around its this upside support line taken from the low of the 30th of May. And what I was also mentioning was in one of my previous videos that even if we see a drop below this upside line, we need to see a nice good break and ideally a close below the 1484 zone, which yesterday got tested perfectly, from which, as you can see, the commodity rebounded and pushed back to the upside towards its 200 EMA here and this upside line line. So we still need to see a nice good clear move below the 14.84 zone here before examining lower areas. So keep your eyes on this one. Let me just quickly actually highlight this one for our future reference, just to kind of keep it in mind. So yep, guys, this is the there we go. Let me just adjust this very quickly. There we go. That's the level for the downside that we're looking for. For the upside, still the same level remains, 1512. We need to wait for a break above that before we could start considering higher levels. Again, initially we will target the 1525 zone, but if that fails to withhold, then yep, we could see this one pushing further north. So again, like I said, for now, just keep your eyes on this one. Ethereum, also a very quick mentioning of this. I talked about this one yesterday in my Traders Tea Time, Espresso, and basically what I was saying that if we see a hold up around here, 216.17 zone, we may see this one drifting back down towards the 204 area. And if this gets a nice hold up here, if this holds the price from moving lower, then we could see this one curving up and pushing back to the upsides. For now, it seems that this is working out so far nicely. Again, we are still very close to this 204 zone. If it continues to hold, we could see this one curving up and pushing back to the upside. For those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way just wait for a break of the 217 zone here and then aim for higher levels. This way the crypto would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could aim for levels like the 231 zone or even above that. If the 204 zone starts breaking again, you can see that we did have a few false breakouts here, but if we see another break here below this 204 zone and we see a slide below the 21 EMA here shown as the yellow line, then well, this could be opening the path towards this upside, this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 6th of September. So keep your eyes on this one. Let's see how this is going to play out, but again, if we see a drop below the 204 and a break below the 21 EMA here, then we will aim for slightly lower levels, but only up until this upside line, and then we'll take it from there. NZDCAD. Now, jumping into a few pairs. NZDCAD. So yesterday we had some data coming out. We saw the New Zealand GDP figures, which were slightly better than the forecast. We did have a nice push higher initially, but as you can see, then here in New Zealand dollar started sliding here again, and it's now back to its key area of support near the 0.8373 zone. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one, because if this gets a nice good break, this could be opening the path towards the lowest point of August near the 0.8345 zone. It's going to be quite interesting to watch if the pair is going to be able to create a let's say a new low here, and if it falls below the 0.8373, then yes, we will consider a possible slide towards the 0.8345. But if this fails to withhold, now this pair would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could start targeting areas like the 0.8320, or we need to actually I need to jump here into a daily chart probably to find a good potential target, and this is the 0.8320 zone. That's a very strong area of support here, which was seen here back in 2018, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the lowest point of 2018. That's correct. So basically we're not far from the lowest point of 2018, guys, so keep your eyes on this one, but again, we'll consider lower levels if we see let's say soon, if we see a drop below the 0.8373 zone, then we'll aim carefully for the 0.8345, but if that fails to hold, now this is, like I said, where the lowest point of 2018 could come in, which is around the 0.8320 zone. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. In terms of the upside, for us to, let's say, get excited with slightly higher levels, ideally we would like to see a push above the 0.8426 zone here, and a nice good break above this could in a way open the path towards this little area of resistance near the 0.85 zone. So that's basically near the currently the highest point of September. So good potential target, but we will consider that only if we see some moves here through some of these key areas of resistance. So the first one being the 0.8426, and the next one in line could be around the 0.8471 zone. So and like I said, slightly above that, we do have that the current highest point of September near the 0.85 level. So this is basically in terms of the upside. In terms of the downside, as I mentioned, a break below the 0.8373 zone. That's what we need in order to consider slightly lower areas. GBP Aussie, I talked about this one yesterday as well, and I was telling you to keep a close eye on some of these potential areas of resistance. So during my trader's tea time, I was talking about this one, and basically this is the part where it got cut off in the video. Basically, we were still trading around the 1.8233 zone yesterday during the trader's tea time. But what I was saying that if this continues to push higher, the next potential target for us is going to be around the 1.8336 zone. So it did overshoot that. It reached our target, but it kind of continued accelerating. So the pair managed to reach, and let me just quickly grab this one. There we go. So managed to reach this area right here near the 1.8389 zone, so approximately around there. So the pair managed to reach this level. For now, we're going to be very careful. I mean, it still could continue accelerating higher. Don't get me wrong, we did have the RBA bulletin today. Also, the Australia's employment figures, and those well, the unemployment rate has increased, and we saw some weakness. We saw some weakness in the Australian dollar on that hand. So and for now, that's why we have a nice pop here to the upside in GBP Aussie. So in a way, there is a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction here to the downside, but we're going to be very careful here because, like I said, it may continue accelerating higher. But let's see how this is going to play out. We'll only start considering higher levels if we get a nice push above the current high near the 1.8389, and this way we could maybe target the area somewhere around in between here, between the two between the R2 and the R3, which could be around the 1.8435 zone, approximately around there. But if this one decides to correct a little bit lower, keep your eyes on the 1.8336 zone here. If it's going to play as a nice area of support, we could see the pair curving up back to the upside here and pushing higher again. So that's why keep your eyes on this one. If we start seeing a drop below the 1.8336 zone, then, well, I mean, we could maybe consider a possible slide back down here. And let me actually adjust this level because this kind of got violated a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to target some of these here near the 1.8186 zone. So if we see a drop below the 1.8336, then there could be a possibility of maybe seeing a bit of a larger correction to the downside here. So so guys, keep your eyes on this one. It could be quite an interesting pair to trade. USDJPY, very quickly on this. So I talked about this one recently, and basically I kept talking about this yesterday, and what I was saying that we needed to see a nice good pop above the 108.39 zone before we could examine, let's say, higher levels. But as you can see, it did have a few false breakouts here to the upside, but it kind of never actually managed to stay above this 108.39, or even you could round it up towards the 40 zone, and it drifted lower. Now, Of course, we did have the Fed decision yesterday. It did lower the interest rates by 25 basis points. So we have this initial reaction that was to the upside, but quickly the kind of the bears picked up on all this and pushed the pair lower. So the dollar kind of weakened a little bit. So looking at this picture here, you can see that the pair slid lower. It did have a break of this upside support line here, taken from the low of the 26th of August. But as you can see now, the pair is kind of back above it, so it's holding above it still. So let's see how this is going to play out. We're going to keep the same levels. For the upside, we still need to see that nice good strong move above the 108.39 zone before we could examine these higher levels like the 108.95 or even the 109.32 zone. So as you can see previously, those acted as fantastic areas of resistance. In terms of the downside, a drop below the 107.50, that's what we need to see in order to consider, let's say, further declines here. And like I said, for now, we are going to be somewhat probably more neutral. Even if we see a drop below this upside line, we still need to see a drop below the 107.50 before we could examine lower areas. USDCHF, quite relevant today. We do have the SNB, the Swiss National Bank interest rate decision later on. So I mean that's no, it's not expected to have any surprises in terms of interest rate. The same probably minus 0.75 will prevail. But still, we could see some sort of a move here. For now, what we're going to do here is we still have the same levels in mind, the ones that I've mentioned to you recently. On the upside, the 0.9976 zone, approximately around there. That's what we need in order to kind of we need to see a nice good break above this in order to consider higher levels. You can see that yesterday we did have a few pushes, but it kind of they all resulted in false breakouts here, and neither of the 4-hour candles stayed above this level. So if we see a nice good close of a 4-hour candle, there might be an increased chance for a further move higher here, where we could test the upper side of the rising channel here, in which the pair is currently trading in. And we could see a test of this upper side, and then we'd take it from there. If it wants to break this upper side and go travel higher, well, yep, we'll have a look at that. But for now, that's the kind of the idea here. So the 0.9976 level, that's what we're going to be looking out for in terms of the upside. In terms of the downside, again, we're still on the same conservative approach. The 0.9907, that's what we need in order to consider slightly lower areas. And by slightly lower areas, I mean the lower side of the same rising channel formation. So keep your eyes on this one. And the last pair for this session, that's going to be euro dollar. This is the trickiest one. I mean, yesterday it sold off. Now it's trying to recover. And what I was talking about previously, and especially in my yesterday's traders tea time, which kind of got cut off. In order for us to aim for lower levels, initially we'll start looking at the 1.1024 zone. A nice good drop below this could in a way lead towards the 1.0983 area, and drop below this. Now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting, because if we see a drop below the 1.0983, then yep, this is what we're going to be targeting. Then we're going to be targeting the lowest point, the current lowest point of September, which is around the 1.0924. So in other words, in terms of the downside, we'll start looking at lower levels if we see a drop below the 1.1024. Here we'll be very careful because it might rebound again, because as you can see a few times it did rebound from this kind of territory. But if it starts falling below the 1.0983, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the sellers, and we could potentially aim for the 1.0924 zone, so which is the current low of September. In terms of the upside, still the same level remains for us. The 1.1110, That's what we need in order to kind of get comfortable with higher levels, even though we see a break of this downside resistance line taken from the high of June this year. Still, just for that extra confirmation, a break above the 1.1110 zone could do the trick here for the buyers. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you really found this useful. Again, I hope this video is going to fully record. I hope there won't be any kind of problems here with the video, and like I said, so hope this is going to get recorded and saved properly. Apologies for the yesterday's traders tea time because, like I said, that one got cut off halfway. The live video was running nicely and it was all okay, but the recording kind of didn't really save all of it. So okay, guys. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic trading day today. Be sure to kind of join me later on at my traders tea time today at 13:15 GMT. We'll have a look at some of these instruments again, some new ones as well. So, and we'll see how everything got along during this morning. And yep, like I said, we'll catch up then. Have a nice trading day, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.